So I suspect that Trump's primary policy is, how do we break BRICS up? We offer attractive arrangements with China. In return, China has to reduce its relationships with Russia. Or maybe at the same time or simultaneously, we offer the Iranian government deals that are attractive to Iran, because within Iran there is definitely a growing split between the president, who wants closer ties with the West, and the supreme leader, who wants not control over the Middle East, but wants the Western influence to leave the region, in the belief that the region has matured enough that they can sort out their own problems. I think it's that attitude is shared by many of the rulers in the region. It's time for the West to leave. So again, I come back, so many moving parts. If I had to draw a conclusion, I think that we have conflicts that escalate into short-term wars, short-term, that periodically disrupt financial markets but don't lead to anything more than corrections. But I think that the time will come, probably around 2028, when the two parts of the world, the Western world and the BRICS group of nations, actually then bash their heads together, and we get, if not World War III, but something very close to it. And that really gives the profile for financial markets. Extreme volatility. So probably in the first 6 to 9 months, we see big corrections in equity markets. And one can argue that get the bad news out of the way is early on in your term of office is good news for the president. Then you get tax breaks and deregulation and falling interest rates, blah, 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 coming into the system, and you're going to get 2 to 3 years of an inflation blow-off. I think people are not recognizing the impending weather patterns with the Atlantic Ocean water temperatures falling significantly, starting probably the end of this year, early next year, which changes weather patterns. And then again, either starting this year or next year, we get the Gleisberg cycle, which last erupted and caused the Dust Bowl in the US Midwest, which caused a collapse in food production. So I think that other than what central banks do to stimulate business activity, the food cycle is going to cause significant inflation, which peaks in 2028, around that time. And then if you get inflation repeating, which I think it will, what it did in 1980, US CPI at 13%, global inflation around 15%, what does that do to long bond yields? They don't stay at 5-6%. They go north of 10%. And what does north of 10% give you? But in a highly leveraged system, it gives you a collapse and recession, if not rolling recessions for the next 5-odd years, if not depression. So that's, in a nutshell, is how I see events unfolding until about 2032, till around about the mid-2030s.